Hour. Instead of doing it in Menominee Falls, we're at our wonderful Get Your Shit Together retreat. And as it ends up, we thought we would do our broadcast of the Fellowship Hour from where we are in this absolutely beautiful cabin in the deep woods up north. And Kristina's laughing because she knows I'm not a snow person, so I'm going.
And it's actually not the deep woods.
This is deep. Out. It's.
And we do have our retreat participants here, so they're joining us in this. So they will be part of the discussion.
Hello. Yes. So you will hear people in the background, hopefully participating and joining in on this lovely conversation. Okay, thank you. So now we have verified that we really are live, and hopefully you're all watching. So I am Reverend Keridak Silk out of the Universal Awareness Fellowship, and this is
Reverend Kristina Bloom out of the same Universal Awareness Fellowship.
Who knew?
Imagine.
Yes. And every Sunday we have a fellowship hour in Menominee Falls at our fellowship, where we invite a community. We want people to come and learn more about. Well, we always have a different topic, but right now we're doing the universal laws. But we want people to learn more about the universe, about manifesting, about spirit, all different topics. And so we hope to bring together people that were like-minded and to have conversation and share that. And we're hoping to get more and more online so that those of you who can't make it to Menominee Falls for whatever reason
can still join us.
Yay. Yes. So we always start with inviting people to have prayers for those either people that are personal, if you want to send prayers, blessings, good energy. We will do it as a group because the group energy really empowers it. And so we're going to invite people to say names of those that they would like, or you can just concentrate and think. If you're watching this later and it's a recording, realize that you're still part of that energy. And so any names that you send energy out to, whether ones that we say or whether it's ones that that you want to add in on your own, absolutely it will still have that extra energy boost of the group energy. So we always light a candle because that also enhances energy. And I actually got the match to work. And I will light my little candle. There we go. All right. Kristina, do you want to add anything or just get started in names?
Well, I think we should just start putting out some names or some situations, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And even if you don't say it on the air here or on the live broadcast, we will know. Just put your energy into it, and we will just be putting our love energy into it as well. So I would like to start with Russ. I would like to put out some.
Okay.
Russ has got some health issues going on, and he's not feeling real well. So we want to send out some love to Russ. And you too, feel free to pipe in anytime you want to.
Mm-hmm. I want to send some love out to Sharon, who just moved and is starting a new chapter in her life, and she's a little nervous about her adventure, so I'd like to send her some love.
Sending some love to Sharon.
Mm-hmm. And one of our good friends, Barb, and her family, I'm always sending good energy to her and her children and her mother.
And Greg and Clayton, always love and joy in the work that they're doing and for their health as well.
Uh-huh. And for Sarah, who's going through quite a difficult time right now.
And for Missy and Rainey after recovering from their car accident.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And those of you who are joining us online, if there's somebody you would like us to speak their name out loud, please type it in. We'll be just doing this for a few more moments.
And definitely energy sent to Barb.
Mm-hmm.
We see you, Barb. Love you.
Absolutely. And to all the people that have joined us.
All the difficult family situations. There are a lot of those going on. And also to send out love to all of our world leaders and hope that they start catching on. let the love get to them so that they can start making better decisions.
Yes. Sending love rather than the frustration we often
Yes.
have. Absolutely. Yeah.
And to the religious leaders and spiritual leaders of the world as well, that they be guided by their hearts in the highest order of love and light.
Thank you. And I would like to send energy out to Larry, my father, and my mother Lynn, who are having, my father is on the last stage of Alzheimer's, and so it's a difficult situation from either one of them to wait for the transition. And another Larry, as a relative who has other issues. Anybody else? Family members or friends that could use a little extra boost of healing energy?
Would you like us to send some love to Paul?
Sure.
Okay, we're going to add Paul to that list, and we're going to send him some love. He's got some struggles,
Going on.
some stuff going on that he could use some help with. So we'll send some love out to him as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I keep watching the page moves. That's why my eyes keep shifting over.
Well, yeah, it's different. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a little bit different.
absolutely.
That way.
All right. Well, we'll let the candle continue as we proceed on. And Kristina is going to start with the universal law of rhythm and get some information. Again, if you're watching and you want to type in a comment or a question, please do so. And Kristina?
All right. I am reading off of a Weebly website, The Laws of the Universe. And it's a very interesting thing with the law of rhythm, because it states that everything basically has a season and a flow to it, and that everything moves in a rhythmic manner throughout the universe, whether it's physical or non-physical. Energy moves rhythmically. So the sun comes up, the sun goes down, the moon comes up. There's a rhythm to it. It happens every day. There's a rhythm to it. Those rhythms come into our lives in a lot of different ways, throughout relationships, throughout jobs, throughout just dealing with each other throughout the day, which can be sometimes mystifying when we're dealing with just other people. And I know that we have some other people here, and again, they may be piping in as time is going on with this. And I'm reading, so please forgive my lack of eye contact. Everything goes. Everything in existence is involved in a dance, the swinging and the swaying and the pendulum back and forth and the up and the down. And there's rhythm to absolutely everything. And if we can learn to take advantage of these rhythms, we can learn to use it to enhance our lives and the lives of other people. By understanding rhythms, by moving forward with rhythms, by using them in our daily life, in manifesting, in speaking, in whatever we do with other people. And I kind of ran into a dead end here, so I'm going to see what you have to say. 'Cause you look like you have something to say here.
Well, actually, Keith has asked about astrological effects.
Okay.
So while you ponder that, I'll say what I was going to say
Okay.
on the topic of rhythm. Being able to utilize the rhythms as you notice them. In some cases, especially when you consider a relationship, you get into the other person's rhythm sometimes, and so that you are in sync. And you may begin to notice when things feel weird or wrong or something feels hurtful, it's actually that you're no longer in sync in that rhythm with the other person. And so being able to recognize that, you can then choose to sync back up to see if you can help the other person rise or change their vibration or their rhythms so that they are back to where you're feeling comfortable again together. Or you may want to shift yours, or you may say, okay, we're just way too out of sync, and that's when we have times of parting the ways, and it's like, okay.
Right.
Yeah, but what happens is you can use this in many, many things, and you probably have felt it even in jobs. where it maybe started out and everything was good, and then something shifts. Maybe they hire a new manager or new staff, or they move to a different building, and suddenly things no longer feel right, that you just no longer feel like in that harmonious rhythm with it. And you, again, it's can you switch your rhythm to meet it, or do you need to part from it? This happens all the time in pretty much everything we do in life. Did you have any comment on the astrological effects or on that?
I think I need to think on that a little bit with the astrological effects.
Okay.
What I was thinking is that all 12 laws of the universe intertwine, and they create kind of a network where everything touches everything. And we were talking about this earlier. We probably should have recorded that conversation, huh?
Yeah.
But the law of rhythm really works with the law of manifest, or the law of attraction, and the law of action, and the laws of polarity and cause and effect, and it all works together. The rhythm feels like it's the machine that keeps it going. It feels like it's the heartbeat, the something that keeps it going as we're moving forward. And that's what the law of rhythm does, is it kind of keeps us going in that direction. Excuse me, I need to get rid of this in my computer here.
So as to what Keith talked about or asked about, and this is something that hopefully you will all join in on and add more comments, because we're not necessarily the be-all know-alls of everything. We're still learning some of this and as well. But what I see in astrology, which is not my strong point, I know a little bit, and that's about it. But in astrology, as I've noticed it, there are also rhythms. There are, as the planets change and shift, they're doing so within orbits. And you will see that the times certain constellations are in our skies, certain ones seem to fade back. And that does shift and change how we feel the world. We always talk about Mercury in retrograde as probably the biggest astrological thing that everybody knows, or most people know
and that's
about.
coming back this week.
No.
Just so let you know.
and for those of you,
we have someone in denial over here.
yeah, well, I think many of us are like, no, forget it.
Yeah, we don't want that. We don't
Go hide under a rock. But for those who don't know what Mercury in retrograde is, do you have a good explanation?
Sort of.
Okay.
Sort of.
Your sort of is better than my.
Again, I'm not an astrologer. Astrology sounds like a lot of work and a lot of memorizing to me, so I never learned it. But my understanding is that the planet Mercury slows down, and from our view from Earth, it looks to go backwards, and it seems to mess with things like electronics, communication, that sort of thing. So, that's when your phone is going to act up, that's when your computer is going to that's when everything just sort of has difficulties. Now, sometimes it affects the people in different signs, or sometimes it'll affect earth signs more, sometimes it'll affect water signs more. I don't know what this one is, honestly. I haven't done any research on it, so I don't really know what that is. Keith, what I would do is ask you to clarify your question. What is it exactly that you're looking for? Because astrology is a huge topic, and we know about that much combined. So if you have a more clear question, that would help us maybe to answer it.
Yeah. And certainly astrologers see that life is affected by where the signs are, and they can create. They not only create a chart based on your birth of what your personality is or what your challenges may be and such, but they also can predict what days are going to be good for you for a surgery, and that's actually, I would say, probably based on what one would call rhythm, because it has a definite ebb and flow to it. It has a definite pattern to it, probably stronger than many of the other, as far as being predictable, as some of the other tools of divination and such. I have found what little I've discovered or played with, those that are good astrologers, it's quite complicated, which is one reason why I stayed away from it. I like the intuitive pieces better. But yet it can be quite insightful to understand what your rhythm is or what your pattern is.
And also, I mean, astrologically, I guess what pops into my mind with rhythm is the moon.
Mm.
The moon is very rhythmic. The
Mhm.
moon, what's the word I'm looking for? It controls the tides. It controls
Right. It
the
has
water on Earth and the
Yeah.
flow of that water on Earth. And if you think about it, there's a whole lot of us that's water. So if it can move an entire ocean, it can move you too, like it or not. So I think the moon is what really affects most people astrologically with rhythms.
Right. Right. In what's the word I'm looking for? The opposite of that. Let's put it this way: the opposite of rhythm, to give another perspective, would be the sun and the solar bursts, because those are more random. There is no pattern to that I'm aware of, and so, but yet those solar flares have been known to affect all sorts of things on Earth, as well as sometimes our behaviors, sometimes our group energy.
Yeah.
So that's a way of looking at it. Not everything is predictable. Not everything's in a pattern, even though it's a universal law. There is some randomness still thrown in.
Yeah, agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. And I know last week we didn't post it, but we did have a discussion about the law of polarity and how there's randomness in the universe and how that feeds in. Discordant. What does that mean? I mean, what does this mean in context? That's what I'm trying to understand.
Mm-hmm.
Just so you know, because I have this up, the lag between you and the video is about 30 to 40